Alright, so I just got done watching the Bob's Burgers movie, and if you listened/watched my review on the first season of Bob's Burgers, you'll know I wasn't too crazy about it. Some of the humor lands, some of it really doesn't, and when it doesn't, it really doesn't. I like the characters for the most part, especially in this movie. I think Louise, the one with the pink bunny ears, is the one that stands out most to me. And I'd have to say she's probably my favorite character from the first season that I watched too. She's just chaotic, and I kind of like it, and I kind of relate to it a little bit. But yeah, I wasn't too excited for this movie going in. Sitting in the theater chair, I was like, all right, maybe I'm a little excited for it. But as the movie went on, this is a fairly long movie. I think it's close to being 2 hours long, and it has no business being that long at all. The story of the film overall has to do with crime and a murder, and I didn't hate that, but it's nothing we haven't seen before, honestly. The big thing about this movie for me and the show is just the characters. I love the characters. I love the different voices and some of the situations they get themselves into as well. But overall, I don't know, there's just so many other animated TV shows of this nature that I would rather watch. I like Rick and Morty, I like Family Guy, I like, Simpsons. I like all the main ones that people typically say they like. Bob's Burgers is a very popular one, so I think the fans of Bob's Burgers are really going to enjoy this movie. This is only the second day that it's out, and the theater was not full at all for this film. I'm wondering if it was yesterday or if it was earlier today or going to be later on today. I did go before people got out of work, so it could be that. But I just don't think there was as much anticipation for this movie. The trailers didn't really blow me away either. And there's two behemoths of movies out right now, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and Top Gun Maverick. And I just don't think a movie like this can compete with those. Was it a good big screen experience? Not relatively, no. I think this movie would have possibly even done better on streaming. I don't know what the numbers are so far in terms of box office, but I can't imagine this movie's going to do all that well. I don't know. Are the Bob's Burgers fans strong enough? Are there enough of them that are willing to go see this movie? Maybe. I think it'll do decent, but I don't think it's going to do as well as something like Top Gun or, any Marvel movie for that matter. Like I said, I like the characters. I like the animation for the most part. It's a little bit different from the show. It's just a little bit more three-dimensional as opposed to two-dimensional. Still two-dimensional, but has some of those 3D aspects to them, making it a little bit different from the show. Just a little. Not enough to throw you off, but enough to be like, hey, they have a bigger budget here, so they're trying to do a little bit more with the animation style. I can commend that, but it doesn't do a whole lot for me in the end, really. We have a lot of really great characters in here. You got Bob, obviously, which isn't even really the character most people think of first when they think of Bob's Burgers. Not me personally. I think of Tina first because, everybody does. But, yeah, Bob is a great character. In this movie, as always, he's struggling with the business. He doesn't get a whole lot of business, and the bank is going to repossess his equipment. So, basically, he has to make a bunch of money in 7 days in order to pay the bank back. And then there's this huge sinkhole that opens up right outside of his shop. And they just so happen to find human remains in there as well. So, yeah, not looking good for his business. From the bit of the show I watched, it seems like it never is. So yeah, it's a miracle that it's still there, that's for sure. Especially after all the reopenings that they've had. But I had some fun with the movie. Got chuckles out of it. And also being in a theater makes me laugh at things a little bit more because there's more people there to laugh with, I guess. So when other people are laughing, it's easier to laugh yourself. And is this a movie I'm going to be watching again? Probably not. Is it going to end up on my top 10 worst of this year? There's a decent chance, actually. I haven't watched a whole lot of bad movies this year. I think I've watched more bad movies than good movies. But this definitely has a chance of ending up on that. And that's probably going to piss a lot of Bob's Burgers fans off, because I think a lot of Bob's Burgers fans are going to like this. But if you are a Bob's Burgers fan and you've watched the film, let me know what you thought about it down below, whether you liked it or hated it, or you're just kind of in the middle. For me, I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it, you know? Nothing I'm going to go out of my way to watch again. Honestly, I think I would have rather went to go see Top Gun again, but I like to review newer movies, and I think hopefully this video will do well. But yeah, this is one of the big releases. Next week there's really no big releases, so I'm only going to be talking about Stranger Things. But yeah, I mean, if you're a Bob's Burgers fan and you haven't watched the movie yet, I say go check it out, because you'll probably end up liking it. And I mean, it's made for the fans, really. So me not being one of them, me only recently having watched the show, I can't say this movie's really made for me, to be honest. And just the style of humor as well, not necessarily my kind of humor. I don't want to not poke fun, but also I don't want to like offend the writers here, but it's dumb writing. And I think it's done intentionally, that, you know, it's just kind of dumb. And that's not, I mean, I don't mind that style of humor. It works for me sometimes, like Step Brothers and stuff like that. But here, I don't know, it's just doesn't quite do it for me. You know, I got chuckles out of it, didn't get any belly laughs, but I also didn't groan at any jokes, which in the first season there was a scene where Gene fell on the ground and he was just like, and I just like, it went on for like what felt like a minute, but I was just like, the joke wasn't even funny to begin with, so the fact that you're just dragging on this is ugh. But I wouldn't let that ruin the experience for me, wouldn't let it ruin the rest of the series or this movie for me. So I went into it just being like, I might like this movie, I might even love this movie. So I'm going into it with an open mind, you know, having watched the first season and a half, just knowing the context. That's what I needed to kind of get introduced to the characters and the style of humor that they have here. But I went into it knowing I didn't really like the first season very much, and still said, hey, this could surprise me. And it really didn't. But overall, I think I'm going to have to give the movie a 5 out of 10. And that's me kind of being nice to it. I do love the characters. Some of the humor does work for me. And then the animation I thought was really good as well. So, yeah, like I said, have you seen the Bob's Burgers movie? Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments below if you were on YouTube. Leave a like and subscribe. Thank you very much. And if you're listening onto the podcast, if you're listening on the podcast, let's get to the next review. But see you guys later.